is very dashing.
She was so much more fun before she married that gloomy little man.
Well, she always was such a fierce poser. It's so silly of people to try and cultivate the artistic temperament. She's just a normal, bouncing Englishwoman.
You didn't shave this morning.
I know I didn't, but I'm going to in a minute when I finish this.
Sometimes I wish we were more normal and bouncing, Simon.
Why?
I should like to be a fresh, open-air girl with a passion for games.
Oh, thank God you're not.
It would be so soothing.
Not in this house.
Where's Mother?
She's in the garden, practicing.
Practicing? Oh, what's she up to?
She's learning the names of the flowers by heart.
I always distrust when she becomes the squire's lady.
So do I.
She's been at it all day. She tapped the barometer this morning.
She's probably got a plan about impressing somebody.
I wonder who.
Some dreary, infatuated young man will appear soon, I expect.
Not today. You don't think she's invited anyone down today, do you?
I don't know. Has father noticed anything?
No, he's too immersed in work.
Perhaps Clara will know.
Yell for her.
Clara! Clara! Clara!
Simon, I do hope she has not asked anyone down today.
Why? Why haven't you?
Yes.
Well, why on earth didn't you tell me?
I didn't think you'd care one way or another.
Who is it?
Richard Gratham.
Oh, how exciting! I've never heard of him.
I should have flaunt my ignorance if I were you. It makes you look silly. He's a frightfully well-known diplomatist.
Oh, well, he'll need all of his diplomacy here.
I told him not to expect good manners, but I hope you'll be as pleasant to him as you can.
I've never really met any diplomatists, Sorrel, but as a class, I'm extremely prejudiced against them. They're so suave and polished and debonair.
I wish you could find your biting irony to your caricatures, Simon.
And I wish you would confine your girlish infatuations to London and not force them on your defenseless family.
I shall keep him out of your way as much as possible.
Do, darling. Clara, has mother asked anyone down this weekend?
I don't know, dear. There isn't much food in the house, and Amy's got a toothache.
I got some oiled cloves somewhere.
She already tried that. Poor girl burnt her tongue. She's been writhing about in the scullery like 1 o'clock.
Did you remember to put the flowers in the Japanese room?
Oh, the Japanese room is essentially feminine and entirely unsuited for the pet of the Foreign Office.
Shut up, Simon!
The room looks lovely, dear. You needn't worry. Just like your mother's dressing room on a first night.
How restful.
Have you told her about your boyfriend?
Not a boyfriend, Clara.
Whatever he is.
I think Sorrel is beginning to be ashamed of us. I don't altogether blame her. We are very slapdash.
Are you sure those pictures in the guest bathroom are really the thing, dear? All those pink, naked ladies rolling about in the field?
Nudity can be very beautiful, Clara.
Oh, can it? Perhaps being a dresser all these years has spoilt me eye for it.
Clara is looking tired. We ought to have more servants and not depend on her so much.
You know we can never keep them. Plus, you're right about us being slapped at, Simon. I wish we weren't.
Does it matter?
It must, I think. To other people.
Well, it's not our fault. It's the way we've been brought up.
Well, if we're clever enough to realize that, we ought to be clever enough to change ourselves.
I'm not sure that I want to.
We're so awfully bad-mannered.
Not to the people that we like.
People we like put up with it because they like us.
What do you mean by bad manners? Lack of social tricks and small talk?
We've never attempted to look after anyone we've invited down here.
Why should we? It's so loathsome being looked after.
Yes, but people like little attentions. We've never once asked anyone how they've slept.
I consider that an impertinence anyhow.
Well, I'm going to try to improve.
You're only going on like this because you have a mania for a diplomatist. You'll soon return to normal.
Abnormal, Simon! That is what we are, abnormal. People stare in astonishment when we say things that we consider perfectly normal. The other day, at Frida's lunch, I remarked, I wish there was something that made me stand up because I was so sick of it going down and they all thought I was mad.
You needn't worry, darling. We all see things differently, I suppose. And if they don't like it, then they must lump it.
Mother's been awfully restless lately.
Yes, I know.
Life must be terribly dull for her now with nothing to do.
That will change soon, I expect. People never retire from the stage for long.
Father will be livid if she does.
That won't matter.
Oh, you look awfully dirty, Simon. What have you been doing?
Not washing very much.
Oh, you should, darling, really. It's so bad for your skin to leave things about on it.
Clara says Amy's got toothache.
Oh, poor dear. I've got some oil of pearls in my medicine cupboard. Who's Amy?
The scullery maid, I think.
How extraordinary. She doesn't look Amy a bit, much more flossy. Give me a cigarette. Delphiniums are those stubby red flowers, aren't they?
No, darling, they're tall and blue.
Of course. The red ones are somebody's name. Astus, that's it. I knew it was something opulent. I do hope Clara has remembered about the Japanese room.
The Japanese room.
Yes, I told her to put some flowers in it and to take Simon's flannels out of the wardrobe drawer.
So did I.
Why?
I've invited Richard Gratham down for the weekend. I didn't think you'd mind.
Mind? How dare you do such a thing? He's a diplomatist. If that makes it much worse, we must wire and put him off at once.
It's too late.
Well, we'll tell Clara to say we've been called away.
That would be extremely rude, and anyhow, I want to see him.
You mean to stand there in cold blood and tell me you invited a complete stranger down for the weekend and that you want to see him?
I've often done it before.
Oh, I fail to see how that helps matters. Where's he going to sleep?
The Japanese room.
No, he isn't. Sandy Tyrell is sleeping in it.
There now, what did I tell you?
Sandy what?
Tyrell, dear.
Why on earth didn't you tell us, Mother?
I did. I've talked of nothing but Sandy Tyrell for days. I adore Sandy Tyrell.
You have never mentioned him.
Who is he, Mother?
He's a perfect darling and madly in love with me. Well, it's not me, really. It's my celebrated actress glamour, but it gives me a divinely cozy feeling. I met him at Nora Trent's.
I wish you'd give up on this sort of thing.
What do you mean by this sort of thing, Sorrel?
You know perfectly well what I mean.
Are you attempting to criticize me?
Not at all. I just thought you'd be above encouraging silly, callow young men who are infatuated by your name.
That may be true, but I shall allow nobody but myself to say it. I hoped you'd grow to be a good daughter to me, not a critical aunt.
It's so terribly cheap.
Cheap nonsense. What about your diplomatist?
Surely that's a little different, dear.
If you mean that because you happen to be a vigorous ingenue of 19, that you have the complete monopoly on any amorous adventure there may be, I feel it my firm duty to disillusion you.
But Mother?
Anybody would think I was 80 the way you go on. It was a great mistake not sending you to boarding schools and you coming back and me being your elder sister.
That wouldn't have been any use, darling. Everyone knows we're your son and daughter.
Only because I was stupid enough to dandle you about in front of cameras when you were little. I knew I should regret it.
Oh, I really don't see any use in trying to be younger than you actually are.
And your age, dear, it would be indecent if you did.
But Mother, darling, don't you see it's awfully undignified for you to go flaunting about with young men?
I don't flaunt about, I never have. I've been morally an extremely nice woman. More or less. All my life, and if dabbling gives me pleasure, I don't see why I shouldn't dabble.
But it oughtn't to give you pleasure anymore.
You know, Sorrel,
to be deadly, anyhow.
You are very far too blasé and exclusive, Simon.
Oh, nothing of the sort. Only I loathe being hearty with your men friends.
You have never been civil to any of my friends, men or women.
Yes,
Don't bicker.
And as far as the Japanese room goes, the Japanese room is a woman's room, and a woman ought to have it.
I've promised it to Sandy. He loves anything Japanese.
So does Myra.
Myra,
Arundel, I've asked her down.
you've what?
I have asked Myra down for the weekend. She's perfect, darling.
Well, all I can say is, it's perfectly beastly of you. You might have told me. What on earth will Richard say?
Something exquisitely non-committal, I expect.
This is too much. Do you mean to tell me, Simon?
Yes, Mother, I do. I have asked Myra down for the weekend, and I've a perfect right to. You've always raised us to be free about things.
Myra Aberdeen is straining freedom to its utmost limits.
Oh, you don't like her.
No, dear, I detest her. Which is why I told you before, she's far too old for you, and she goes about using sex as a sort of shrimping net.
Really, Mother?
It's no use being cross, you know I dislike her, which is why you never told me she was coming down until too late to stop her. It's intolerable of you.
Whether she's here or not is a matter of extreme indifference to me. I'm just afraid Richard won't like her very much.
You're afraid he'll like her too much.
That was an offensive remark, Simon. Rather silly.
Why can't you fall in love with nice young girls instead of subconscious vampires?
She's not a vampire! And I never said that I was in love with her.
He's mad about her. She butters him up and admires his sketches.
And what about you picking up old gentlemen and dances?
He's not old!
You both upset me thoroughly. I wanted a nice, restful weekend with moments of Sandy's ingenuous affection to warm the cockles of my heart when I felt in the mood. And now, the house is going to be full of discord, not enough food, everybody fighting for the bar. It's perfect agony. I wish I were dead.
You needn't worry about Myra and me. We will keep out of everyone's way.
I shall take Richard on the river all day tomorrow.
In what?
The punt.
Oh, I absolutely forbid you to go near the pond.
It's sure to rain anyhow.
Oh, what your father will say, I tremble to think. He needs complete quiet to finish off the sinful woman.
I see no reason for there to be any noise unless Sandy wants his name is given to shouting.
In all rude to Sandy, I shall
If I'm rude to Sandy, you will rude to Myra.
Why is everyone making such a noise?
I think I am going mad.
Why hasn't Clara brought me my tea yet?
I don't know.
Where is Clara?
Oh, do stop firing questions at me, David.
Why are you all being so irritable? What has happened?
Here's your tea. Sorry I'm late with it. Amy forgot to put the kettle on. She's got a toothache.
Oh, poor girl, give her some oiled clothes.
If anyone else mentions oil and clothes, I shall do something desperate.
It's wonderful stuff. Where is Zoe?
She was in the garden this morning.
And I suppose no one thought of giving her any lunch yet.
I put it on the kitchen table as usual. She just hasn't come for it yet.
She's probably mousy.
She isn't old enough yet. She could have fallen into the river for all you care. I think it's a shame.
Don't worry, Ed. No harm will come to Zoe. She's far too wild.
Now, I don't want to be disturbed. Listen, Simon, there's a perfectly sweet flapper coming down on the 4:30. Will you go and meet her and be nice to her? She's an abject fool, but the useful type, and I want to study her in domestic surroundings. Oh, and she can sleep in the Japanese room.
I should like someone to play something very beautiful to me on the piano.
Everything!
Where it doesn't help! you'd better go and shave, Simon.
It's perfectly beastly. Anytime I make plans with someone, it's always done in by one of you. I wish I was making my own wages. A free agent, and not cluttered up by the frustrations of family.
It grieves me to hear you say that, Sorrel.
Don't be infuriating, Mother.
Oh, change has come over my children of late. I have tried to shut my eyes to it, but in vain. At my time of life, one must face bitter facts.
This is going to be the blackest Saturday till Monday we've ever spent.
You mustn't cry, Sorrel.
Don't sympathize me, it's only timber.
Put your head on my shoulder, dear.
Your head like the golden fleece.
Richard will have to sleep in mental hell in that horrible flapper in the Japanese room.
Over my dead body.
What are we to do, Mother?
Oh, we must all be very, very kind to everyone.
Oh, now then, Mother, none of that.
What do you mean, Simon?
You were being beautiful and sad.
But I am beautiful and sad.
You're not particularly beautiful, darling.
Never mind. I made thousands think I was.
And as for being sad, you don't...
Simon, I will not be dictated to like this. If I say I am sad, then I am sad. You don't understand because you're precocious and tiresome. There comes a time in all women's lives.
dear.
What did you say, Sorrel?
I said oh dear.
Well, don't say it again because it annoys me.
You're such a lovely hypocrite.
I'm sure I don't know what I've done to be cursed with such ungrateful children.
There you go again.
You're getting far too tall, Sorrel.
Sorry, Mother.
Get me another of those disgusting cigarettes. I don't know where they came from.
Here.
Oh, I'm going to forget entirely about all these dreadful people arriving. Henceforth, my mind shall be a complete blank on the subject.
That's all very well, Mother, but
I made a great decision this morning.
What kind of decision?
It's a secret.
well, aren't you going to tell us?
Of course. I meant it was a secret from your father.
Okay, but what is it?
I'm going to return to the stage.
I knew it!
I'm stagnating, you see. I won't stagnate as long as there's breath left in my body.
But Mother, do you think it's wise? You retired so finally last year. What excuse will you give for returning so soon?
My public, dear. Letters from my public.
Have you got any?
One or two. That's what's decided me, really. I ought to have had hundreds.
We'll write you some lovely ones and you can publish them in the papers.
Of course.
You will be dignified about it all, won't you, darling?
I'm much more dignified on the stage than in the country. It's my milieu. Think of the thrill of a first night. All those ardent playgoers willing on to succeed, the critics leaning forward.
Have you got a
glowing.
play?
I think I shall revive Love's Whirlwind.
Father will be furious.
Oh, I can't help that.
It's such a fearful play.
Oh, it's a marvelous part. You mustn't say too much against it, Sorrel. I'm willing to laugh at it a little myself, but after all, it was one of my greatest successes.
It's appalling. But I love it. It makes me laugh.
The public loves it too, and it doesn't make them laugh much. You are a fool, a ballad, pitiable fool. You think that because you have bought my body, that you have bought my heart. You must admit that's dramatic. I dreamed of love like this, but I never realized, I never knew how beautiful it could be in reality. Oh, that line always brought a tear to my eye.
The second act is the best. There's no doubt about that.
From the moment Victor comes in, it's strong, tremendously strong. Be Victor a moment, Sorrel.
You mean when he comes in at the end of the act?
Yes, you know. Is this a game?
Is this a game?
Yes! And a game that must be played to the finish.
Sarah! What does this mean?
So many dreams shattered, so many illusions trodden in the dust.
I'm Jewel
her mother is a...
Don't say it! Don't say it! Spare her land! I'm giving you all the next life worth living. My youth, my womanhood, and now my child. Would you tear the very heart out of me? I tell you, it's infamous that people like you should be allowed into polite society. You have ruined my life. I have nothing, nothing! God in heaven, where am I to turn to for help?
Is this true? Tell me, is this true?
Yes. Yes.
You girl!
Damn, there's the bed.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, Clara, before you answer the door, we shall be 8 for dinner.
And for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and tea tomorrow.
Will you get various rooms ready?
I shall have to. They can't sleep in the passage.
Now we must send Clara!
It can't be helped. Nothing can be helped. It's all fate. Everything that happens is fate. That's always been a great comfort to me.
More like errant selfishness.
Oh,
Her I may be, but I have some thoughts for the others. 8 for dinner. Amy, out with the toothache. It's neither more nor less an imposition.
Had you not let them all in?